about range of motion and how it impacts your overall fitness and health, okay? When we talk about range of motion, what we're talking about is your ability to move your joints, your arms and appendages, your hips, right, in the fullest extent of what it can do. So if I have a shoulder issue and I can't use my full range of motion, I go here and I stop. I can't go any higher, right? Moving my elbow all the way in, full extension, full flexion, and then all the way out, full extension, right? Using your joints to the maximum distance they can move within their mechanical design, right? That's what we're talking about range of motion. Now, there are three main things that range of motion affects. First off is muscle recruitment, okay? We'll talk about all of these a little bit more in a second. We're talking about muscle recruitment and how much muscle is used in your workouts. That ties into the second thing, which is energy utilization, okay? And then the third thing is general safety and risk stability and things like that, all right? So let's talk about muscle recruitment, all right? Muscles are not just one big hunk of meat, right? They are actually thousands of strands of fiber that are all connected at your joints with tendons and things like that, right? So there's all these ropes, just like a rope, okay? A rope has tons of threads in it. They're all woven together, and that's what makes the rope strong. So when we talk about muscle fibers, okay, we're talking about skinny ones, and they range in size and length, right? We have long ones, skinny ones, short ones, fat ones, strong ones, weaker ones, right? Different muscles required for different things. Some muscles are thicker and shorter, they're stronger, right? And then some muscles are thinner and longer, and they're more used for stability or endurance type work, different things like that. So when we're talking about exercising and range of motion, what we're talking about is let's use my bicep as an example. If I flex my bicep, right, and I only come to this point, I have a whole second half of that range of motion that I'm not going to engage fibers all the way here. Same way go down. When I go down, if I'm only coming down and I stop, there's some longer fibers in here that aren't going to get extended, aren't going to get worked in this full range of motion. So I'm not using all of the muscles that I have, right? If I squat and I only go down here, I'm only going to affect half of the muscles, half of the movement, half of the muscles, right? If I come all the way down to the bottom, now I'm utilizing more of the muscles, then I'm going to develop more strength in all of the different types of muscles and strands than if I just go halfway. So when we talk about range of motion, what we're talking about is engaging all the muscles, right? Let's say this is a half rep, right? This is a half rep. I go all the way out here, right? I can extend that thing out crazy, right? Different lengths, different strengths. Ooh, I just made that up. I like that. Different lengths, different strengths, right? If I go just my short muscles, short, strong stuff, right? I'm only able to come to a certain point in time. Now, if I combine all these together, because you can't isolate I'm going to just work half of the muscle fibers. They're all connected in this one big bundle, okay? If I only do short range of motion, right? Those longer muscles, those thinner muscle fibers, the fibers that have to work at a different range of motion, right? A different extension of the arms or extension of the legs, right? Full range of motion. Now, I'm not getting some of those, only half these muscles are getting worked. If I want to go full range of motion, I have to come out a little bit more. And what does this do? This increases my ability to get at that full range of motion by making these guys more flexible, right? But it also engages these guys so now they get the work that they need, all right? So we're talking about developing the full strength in the full capacity of what your muscles can do, not just working small ones or big ones, okay? So that's the biggest thing. If you want to build size, if you want to build strength, you need to work as many muscle fibers as possible. And the best way to do that is to get full range of motion work. There is a time and a place for half reps and altered reps and things like that. General functional fitness, general strength, for what 99% of the people out there, probably what you need is just full range of motion. Do your bicep curls all the way extended and all the way up, right? Don't short it by coming up here and doing a half rep, right? Do your deadlifts all the way down and all the way up. Do your bench press all the way down and all the way up, right? Do your squats all the way down and all the way up. Do your overhead presses lock out your arms at the top. Don't go here and think that you're getting everything you need, right? I've got a whole bunch of shoulder work and a whole bunch of core work that's not happening if I don't all the way extend, okay? Full range of motion is your key, the number one thing you can do to build size and build strength, okay? Doesn't matter what supplements you take, it doesn't matter how you're eating, right? If you are not getting all of your muscles work, you're losing half of everything else that you're doing, all right? That's number one. Number two, we talk about muscle recruitment and using muscles. Well, what is the number one thing that we have that uses fuel? It's our muscles, right? When we're doing workouts and we're talking about functional fitness, we're talking about HIIT training, right? Which is something that I talk about a lot because I really believe in it. We're talking about doing complex movements so that we use as much muscle as possible. If all I do is bicep curls, I'm going to focus on one area. I'm focusing on one thing. My biceps are going to get bigger, my biceps will get stronger. But what if I do bicep curls and overhead presses at the same time? What if I do cleans where I'm getting my shoulders, my back, right? And I'm getting some lower leg work in pulling weight off of the floor. I'm getting some posterior chain, lower back, hamstrings. I'm using like 6 to 7 different areas of muscles at the same time, okay? Complex movements recruit more muscle and use more energy. If I get on an elliptical and I hop on the elliptical for 45 minutes, I'm lightly using some muscles. I may be working at 65, 75% of effort, right? I'm sweating, I got my heart pumping, my lungs are going, but really the only muscles that are being used are my heart and my lungs, right? What I need to just maintain the breathing and oxygen and burning fat. Now, what happens is I'm not using any muscle. So I'm sweating, I maybe burn some calories, but I'm not actually developing any musculature. I'm not changing my metabolism, because that's what that's what resistance work does, is it helps change your metabolism. You can do cardio all day long, it's not going to change your metabolism. As you develop muscle, recruit more muscle fibers, then you're going to start burning fuel faster, and your body's going to start asking for and needing more calories, okay? So, muscle recruitment, again, not just for developing the muscle itself, but the more muscle you use, the faster your metabolism will start to kick in. So people that are on ellipticals for 45 minutes and wonder why they're never losing fat, it's because they're not training their muscles, they're not making their bodies ask for more energy. Every muscle fiber you use is more energy your body is asking for, okay? That's two things. The third thing we talk about is safety. Range of motion and stability is about moving in full range of motion under stress, okay? If I am extending my arm out here, right, I need my whole arm to be strong enough to hold weight out here. If I only train here, and I can put 100 pounds out here in front of me like this, the minute I try to put 100 pounds out here, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna jack my shoulder up, I'm gonna jack my wrist up, I'm gonna jack my elbow up, okay? If I train here with 100 pounds every day, okay, there's no way I'm even getting to this full range of motion. So if something happens where I need to reach up here to do something, grab something, hold something, pull something, lift something this high, I won't be able to do it. My range of motion is now limited and compromised because one, I can't get there under stress or under weight. And number two, if I do get there, I'm at a seriously higher risk of getting injured because I'm not used to training in that position, okay? Train like you live, guys. If you're going to try and be functional, by definition, you need to be able to move in every position and every range of motion that your body can get into under stress, under load, while you're tired, okay? So you have to practice and train like you're doing that, all right? So, in summary, muscle recruitment, okay, if you want to get stronger, if you want to get bigger, you have to get as many muscle fibers engaged as possible. Number two, burn more energy, right? Your metabolism will kick in the more muscle fibers you engage. And then number three, if you want to be safe and severely, is that the right word? Greatly decrease your chance of injury while you're working out and as you get older, make sure you train with weight at all the ranges of motion that you can, okay? All right, those are your 3 points, guys, for how range of motion impacts your health and fitness. Talk to you soon.